I'm Amy Fae. Today we're going to be talking about movement theory that I've sort of developed based upon Mary Overlie's original movement theory called the Six Viewpoints. I've sort of transformed it in my own way to fire performance, and it's a very broad theory that there's so many facets to it, but today, with not a lot of time, we're just going to focus on the very specific aspect of spatial relationship on the vertical plane. So the first thing we're going to want to do is we're going to start by walking on a grid. The grid is simply just walking, except every time that you want to make any sort of movement, you want to make it on a 90-degree angle. Eventually you can play around with making more curvy lines and whatnot, but that's a different facet of this completely. So we're just going to walk on the grid, 90-degree angles if possible. You can walk backwards, you can walk to your left, just make sure you're making turns on the 90-degree angle, okay? Now as you walk, just make sure you're holding your prop at your side, whichever prop you choose. This theory can be applied to any prop, nunchuck, poi, hoop, bring it along. But we're going to be walking on the grid with it just hanging at our side, and pay attention to how you naturally are inclined to hold it. Loosely, calmly, just how you hold your prop. And we're just going to walk on our grid. And as you walk, eventually what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to start playing with the vertical plane and how high you can naturally bring the prop without throwing it, without doing anything fancy to get it there, and how low you can naturally get the prop, okay? And you can use whatever technique you want to do to explore this. And once you find something you like playing with, and that's just really fun for you to play with, start playing with the vertical highs and lows as well as time incorporated. So how fast can you get it on this plane, up and down, and how slow can you do it? Now this can be used for any technique that you choose to use it on. Just find something that you really like playing with and spend some time on it. The vertical plane, up and down, as well as the speed of doing so. Now you can continue to walk on the grid as you do it. I would recommend it. If you want to stop, that's totally cool as well. One of my favorites to play with is what I lovingly call the witch's brew. It's just an isolation though. And if you start with the isolation in the center and play around with how low you can get the isolation and then bringing it all the way up. And then again, speed, how fast, how slow. And again, it can be applied with any technique. And this thing is so broad. This is just a tiny little sliver of this entire theory. But today you've explored the spatial relationship on a vertical plane. Thank you.